Okay, moving on to application 2020-0010, Range Resources, Connor Samuel Well Site Conditional Use. Applicant Range Resources.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Range, I'm here on behalf of Range. My name is Jocelyn Everett. I'm a local government representative with Range Resources. We submitted these applications to the township back in February of this year in the essence of just providing enough materials for you guys. We weren't really sure how this meeting would take place, but we thought it would be best to complement the application binders and all of the materials contained in our conditional use application in the form of a PowerPoint presentation. So I did provide that to the township. If you don't mind, I'm going to project it onto the screen. No, in following the agenda, these two applications are listed as item number 5 and item number 6. I apologize, this seems to be cutting in and out. They are number 5 and number 6 on the agenda. The items contained in this PowerPoint will touch on both items 5 and 6. So we have some specific slides for each well site that we're here to talk about, and then we have some slides that give an overall representation of the activity that we actually plan to partake in at these locations. So again, my name is Jocelyn Everett. I'm a local government representative with Range. Also here on behalf of Range, we have Carl Matz. He's our civil and environmental engineering manager. We have our associate division counsel, Brian Root, and we have our outside counsel, Blaine Lucas and Babs Callan. They're here. I'll probably do most of the speaking tonight, but on some of these technical matters, some of our other experts may chime in at any point in time. Just to reiterate, we submitted these applications to the township back in February. Obviously, there has been some delay in the review of these materials because of the COVID situation. We did grant extensions to the township to still mull over these applications and prepare for public hearings, and that's what's brought us to this point today. And I just want to state that nothing in this PowerPoint is meant to supplement or change what was submitted in the initial application package. It is all complementary to the materials that are in the rather extensive application binders that we submitted. So I'll do my best. I don't know if you have the application binders in front of you or if you had the chance to review those, but I'll do my best to call out where we did provide that information to the township. Just a little bit about Range. Some of you are probably familiar with us. We have been operating in Cecil Township for some time. We are a leading independent natural gas producer. We're headquartered out of Fort Worth, Texas, but most locally we have our offices here in Cecil Township in South Point. We have a few well sites in the township. You might be aware of the Augustine well site, which is currently undergoing drilling activity. The air rig is there. So in the application binders, we provided all of this information to the township. Everything from the application form and fee. I'm not going to go through all of these items. You can see them in front of you. But we have our well site agreement, site plans, sound study, a light study, information on our security, a draft PPC plan, our bonding information, contractor list, things of that nature. All of them are highlighted here on this slide. And since the initial time of submission, we have supplemented with a couple of items. Things like an updated setback exhibit. We have received an ESCGP 3 from the DEP to build one of our locations. That was something we did not have at the onset of providing our applications to you. We've provided that to you. We did update our sound study, and I think that's it for the supplemental information. So just an overview of the Connor Samuel location. We're proposing a 911 address just to put it in perspective for you. This is at 134 Grange Road. It's on two.
Want to use the handheld?
Sure.
Sorry. It should be right there.
I hurt my back after this. Okay, sorry about that. So the Connor Samuel location, this is on two different parcels, both in the R1 zoning district off of Grange Road. We've identified the parcels there, you can see them. It's owned by the Schutz family, and we're going to be right off of Grange Road. The address is 134 Grange Road. For this site, it would be built to house up to 14 wells. At this point in time, though, we are only proposing to develop 5 wells initially. But know that the pad, as built and as our plans have laid out, can accommodate up to 14 wells. We also have our traffic route on there, and as far as the township road improvements go, that would be something that our engineers would discuss with the township engineers. We would do some sampling of the roadway and determine if any improvements would be needed and what types of improvements those would be. I also just want to call your attention to the fact that in our initial application, in Exhibits C and D, I believe we gave a tentative schedule for our operations. Since that time, that schedule has changed. The most current schedule is listed on this slide. So we would project to build this site beginning in 2021 based on our current plans. This next slide here just is an overview of the site plans. We're proposing to disturb a total of 14.9 acres. The two parcels, when they're combined, are roughly 132 acres, so this is going to take up 14.9 acres. We would build a 315 by 460 foot pad. It would be accessed via an 822 linear foot access road. Your ordinance requires us to pave the first 50 feet. That's something we would do. And we do have the ESCGP 3 in our possession. The DEP granted that to us back on May 1st. This next exhibit is a setback exhibit. Just shows some of the closest structures and property lines in relation to the well site and the proposed limit of disturbance. The closest property is 116.6 feet away, and the closest structure is 580 feet away. In this exhibit, you can't see because it's too far away to depict, but the closest school would be the Cecil Intermediate School, and that is 3,600 feet away. The closest school property line is 3,070 feet away. This next slide, I apologize, it is a little bit difficult to read in this format, but hopefully you would have a copy there available to you. It is the sound study that we had done by a third party. Now, we assess the area. They will set up different receptors, and they'll model the sound as it would take place during different operational phases. So this first image shown in the slide deck here is sound modeling during the air rig drilling. So you can see there are different receptors placed out there. The township ordinance allows for us to reach decibel levels of 62 at any point in time during the drilling activity. And then in the evening times, it allows for decibel levels of 60. So you can see what we are presenting here is an unmitigated sound model. So this is without any sound walls or any form of mitigation. This is what you're looking at. The model does project compliance, but we recognize that there are various factors that could contribute to sound emanating from the pad, and we would consider putting up sound walls if that were to be a condition or something that the board wanted to mull over. But as you can see, we are projecting compliance. This is during the air rig. The next slide shows during the hydraulic fracturing operations, and this is also projecting compliance. So moving on to the Schutz application, this well site is proposed to be off of Galati Road. It is on property owned by K. Schutz, also in the R1 zoning district. And similar to the Connor Samuel and most of the pads that we are building today, the pad can accommodate up to 14 wells. At this point in time, we are only planning on developing 6. And we have our anticipated route there. And same with the Connor Samuel, we will be traveling upon some township roads to get to this site. Any necessary upgrades, Range would take that into consideration and consult with the township engineer on that. Also, similar to the Connor Samuel, our schedule has changed. Things have been pushed back. This updated schedule does reflect that. This next slide again shows the plans. The total limited disturbance is 22 acres. The parcel itself that it will be on is 94 acres. We have a 480 foot pad, a 480 by 315 foot pad, access to via a 2,760 foot access road. Same situation, we will pave the first 50 feet. And for this site, we have had our ESCGP that was initially provided to the township. The DEP approved that back in 2017. This next slide just shows the setbacks. The closest property line is 576 feet away, and the closest structure is almost 900 feet away. We also measure the distance from the school buildings, and I just want to point out that the closest school building and school property line is actually not in Cecil Township and not within the Cannon-McMillan School District. It is within the Fort Cherry School District. So Fort Cherry School is 8,700 feet away from this location, but the Cecil Intermediate School would be the closest school in Cecil Township, and that is 9,850 feet away. For the property lines, we're looking at over 9,000 feet from the Cecil Intermediate property line and roughly 8,000 feet from the Fort Cherry property line. We also have the sound study for the Schutz. Similar to the Connor Samuel location, this is unmitigated sound, an unmitigated location, and it does project compliance with the township ordinance. But again, we're recognizing there could be other factors that contribute to sound at this location, and we may consider putting up sound walls. The closest receptor here, receptor 1, according to the study, just to give you some idea, during drilling, unmitigated is telling us that we would most likely be at 52.5 decibels, and we're allowed to be at 62 decibels.